And I too would describe myself as a rampant feminist. And I've met so many people who say, well, I believe in equality, but I'm not a feminist. And that to me, personally, feels a little bit like a cop-out, because feminism is about equality. And the fact that people are afraid to call themselves feminists, the fact that people are unsure about it or unclear about it, to me, if anything, that shows that feminism is still an incredibly important and powerful topic. Because we still live in a culture where people are concerned about issues with women and power. And to take this to like a really, really micro level, when you think about little girls and boys, when a boy is determined, makes a decision, leads a plan, and gets his friends to do something, he's a leader. When a girl does that, she's bossy. And the reason why I think we need more women in business is because I believe in a better world. And I want to live in a better world. And by getting stronger businesses that can adapt and have a stronger base, that's going to be better for all of us. It's going to be better for this little guy. So what makes me passionate is hope for the future. And I think that, again, we're living in an era of so much change. If we don't change the way in which we do business, in which our businesses are structured, in which we solve problems, we are going to be in trouble. And women and thinking about women in the workplace is a really great start to solving those problems. You give the team a challenge. The cognitive intelligence of a group where you have diverse individuals, women, men, different age groups, is collectively higher than when you only have a group of men or women or a homogeneous group. The reason for that is it's pretty simple. It really isn't that complicated. If you have 5 different people and all of them have had the same experiences, they're probably going to solve the problem in the same way. When you have 5 people who come from different places in the world, different life experiences, they're going to have different ways of approaching the problem. Nielsen came out last year with a stat that $12 trillion US dollars of the $18 trillion that are spent in consumer goods are controlled by women. That is a lot of money. If you are working and selling something to consumers, if you are selling anything, there is a very good chance that a woman might be buying that. You might have great sales, but your sales could be better. Think about who are you marketing to, and who are the people who are making decisions about building those businesses. And it's also about thinking about how do we change the way in which we work. One of the things for which I have zero tolerance, zero, are people who spend their time bragging about how late they work. Like, I was in the office till 2 a.m. last night. I was cranking on the spreadsheets. When people say that, the first thing I think is, wow, you must not be very efficient. You must not be very good at time management. Either that, or the company you work for must be pretty terrible because they're not actually investing in the employees that they need to actually get the work done. And I think that's sort of an offshoot of a very, very macho, male-dominated workforce. And as we bring more women in, as we redefine what a family is, as men start to take more time at home, it's important that we challenge what we think of as an ideal working situation. You know, we think about what is efficiency? Work less, earn more. How do we do that? And part of doing that is just understanding and trying out different ways of doing a job. And bringing women into the workplace and bringing different perspectives on that is a really important element to, you know, if you're a man and you go to a conference, you don't have to worry, am I going to be too sexy? Am I going to be not sexy enough? What am I going to wear? Men don't need to worry about these things. So how do we actually get more women in business? We do that in a few ways. First of all, you recruit them. You make your workplace a more inviting place for women to work. A great example of that, at one of the companies I worked at, there were people shooting Nerf guns all the time. And it was mainly men shooting Nerf guns all the time, and the women were just like, stop it. So just saying, hey guys, Nerf guns after 6 o'clock. There's all these really small things that are important to do. And it's also important to make sure that you include women in sort of social outings. A lot of times it's sort of another element of privilege. Men will go out to the bar, they're going on a social reason, but they still talk about business. The next morning when they come back into the office, they've had a great night out. They've come up with a new strategy for whatever the plan is, and the woman who had to go home because she had children, or frankly she doesn't feel like going out to a bar, is left out of that. So it's important to really be cognizant of these differences and include women. Quick note on the quota. I'm a super big fan of the quota. The reason for that being that Germany has the second lowest rate of women in leadership in Germany. And I don't believe that change is going to happen fast enough without a quota. There needs to be a systematic break to be actual to create a society where women are mentored and brought forward in businesses. I'd like to live in a world where we can then get rid of the quota at some point, but I just don't think that we can get there fast enough without one. And so the sort of my advice for both the men and the women in the room is to know yourself. Know what you're good at. Promote yourself. Be bold. You know, I'm not afraid to be called a quota woman because I know that I'm good. I know that I'm going to do the job well. So if someone's going to give me an opportunity for that, because there are systematic disadvantages, I'm going to take it. Likewise, think about how do you communicate. You know, Bill Gates is probably not an extrovert. He's an introvert. You know, if you're a woman who isn't going to be Sheryl Sandberg, like, you know, putting her hand up and sort of pushing herself forward, think about communication skills and think about how you can promote yourself better at work without turning into sort of a macho, sort of stockbroker type person. In the same way, if you're a man and you're in the room and you realize that there's one woman and she hasn't said anything all meeting, ask her opinion. Take her out for a drink. Try and engage, because you're going to help yourself by getting different viewpoints and inputs. I'm going to close with just, you know, I never realized the impact of being the only woman in the room until I wasn't. It's really empowering to work with other strong women. If you're a woman, support other women. Enjoy working with other women. Men, I hope you can do the same, and I'm sure you do. And thank you very much.